AI is a tool. It's about how you use it, right? So if you are a very creative person, AI is amazing to help you unlock even more ideas because you're not asking it for answers. You're asking it for starting points. Remembering the burger method, right? Always have the human in the loop to help you to ensure that the quality of results are good. So instead of
Mhm.
hiring a team of maybe like 3 marketers, you can have one supercharged marketer that does 10x the work, like what I'm doing for my clients.
Hey, Hey, Audrey, thanks so much for joining us today. I really appreciate. I'm Juan Carlos. I'm the host of The Bridge, and I welcome you to our podcast. Thanks so much.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here today as well.
Thank you, Audrey. I always ask the same question to all my guests, and in your own words, who is Audrey Chia?
Yeah, I love that question. I actually asked myself this same question just 2 weeks
Yeah, we.
ago. Who am I? How do I define myself? Yeah, so I'm the founder of Flows with Copy. I run a hybrid human AI copywriting consultancy. So my background was in brand advertising, where I was working with bigger global brands around the world. And then I moved into conversion copywriting, doing things like strategic positioning, landing pages in ads. And with I also had to decide how to pivot my business, right? And figure out how to navigate this whole new world, right? And right now I'm using AI every single day, integrating it into my workflows and even helping my clients do the same.
It's amazing, because I think last year this was totally out of nobody was really talking about AI. Like we were not using AI, and now it is everywhere, and it is becoming an extension of ourselves, right? Like we have to use it to be competitive because without AI, I don't think we will be competitive anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. So I used to spend perhaps 3 weeks doing a landing page, right? Right now, I can do the same thing in just about 2 to 3 days with the help
Exactly.
of AI. And the beautiful thing is the quality of content doesn't have to drop because if you are still having that human in the loop, you still have your strategy, your ideas, your insights. You're just using AI to help you to generate work a lot quicker, but we still, maintaining that quality that you are looking for as a human writer.
Actually, this was my first question: the integration of AI in your daily life, and how have you integrated AI in your workflow for copywriting?
Yeah. So there are so many ways in which I use AI. I use it to do all sorts of things. For example, I use it to brainstorm an offer strategy. I use it to train my own sell by chat, kind of social selling sequence. I use AI to craft, like what I said, landing pages. I use it for things like brand identity kits, strategic positioning work. So basically, there is no limit to how you use AI. It's a tool, but if you are able to understand how to prompt effectively, how to think about using this creative tool, then it's just figuring out how to solve the same problem in a much faster and quicker manner. So the way I use AI is how do I get from point A to point B a lot quicker with the help of something else or something a lot more intelligent than perhaps, an intern that's working for you. So I use AI as a supercharged intern. I teach it the way that I think so that
Mhm.
we can work together to solve a problem.
I think that content and context is super important to use AI because I noticed that if you don't know where you are going, then you cannot get help from AI because it won't understand either how to help you. And so you have to train the AI, and but you have to understand where is it that you are going, right?
Yes, I think one thing that people expect AI to do is to solve a problem for you. But the goal is not to ask it to solve the problem. The goal is to guide it to help you to solve that problem. So when you
Oh
have your
yeah.
end focus in mind, right, you will realize that you will get much better quality output rather than you just saying, hey, I need to get there, come up with something. You teach it how to get to the end output.
And the thing that for me will be very interesting to know is what tools or platforms are you using every day? Um, is something particular that you like to use for you to help you, or there are several?
Yeah. So when I first started, I tried all sorts of copywriting AI tools. I think I tried 7 to 10 different copywriting AI tools, right? And of course, they are great for people who are maybe non-writers, for people who don't know how to prompt. But the thing is, once you know how to prompt, there is no need to use a copywriting AI tool because now
Mm.
you can get to a much higher quality output because you know what you're looking for. So for me, I toggle between ChatGPT and Claude when it comes to work, right? Because both of them have different use cases. ChatGPT is great for more strategic content strategy work, whereas Claude is better for writing human-like language, right? And sometimes I use a tool called you.com, that allows me to toggle between the different AI models like Llama, Claude, Gemini, GPT, and then it also allows me to build my own custom assistants based on the different LLMs. So if I wanted to write a Facebook ad, I could build an AI tool based on Meta's AI, right? And then I built a bot based on that because I know that it's already optimized for that and trained on lots of, advertising data. So again, it's about figuring out which LLMs are great for different use cases and then picking the right ones that work for you.
Do you believe that AI can help you enhance the quality of your copywriting, or is just a tool to help you get somewhere?
I believe that you still need to have the foundation sorted. So a copywriter who uses AI will probably be better than perhaps a finance person who's using AI for copywriting, right? Because
Uh-huh.
again, we have different skill sets. So in the same way, I would not be great at using AI for data analysis. Like my ability to use it for data analysis would be at a very superficial level compared to someone who is already trained to understand what they are looking for. So in the same vein, AI is able to help us to the capacity that we are skilled, which means that if I'm a good writer and I know what I'm looking for, AI can help me to get to the same quality output or even beyond. Whereas if I don't have the basic skill sets and I don't know what good copy is, AI is not going to help us to generate great copy because you
Uh,
yourself don't know what you're looking for, right? And that's something that people don't often realize.
do you believe that AI, I mean, can help you spark your own creativity and become better? Because I think in a way you have to use it to prompt better, to understand better, but also this spark that you already have, like we all have. Do you think it's something that will help you make it better?
Yeah, so AI is a tool. It's about how you use it, right? So if you are a very creative person, AI is amazing to help you unlock even more ideas because you're not asking it for answers. You're asking it for starting points. So a tool that could be interesting to someone who is in advertising could be something like a daily. So a daily is an AI tool that allows you to search for top performing, hands winning campaigns, right? So award-winning campaigns that are in a repository. And if you search, for example, tomato, you will see different like ketchup advertising, right? Or you will see different like fresh vegetables advertising, right? And then using those ideas, you can then create your own ones. And or you can say AI gives using these campaign ideas, come up with something new, right? So the ability for you to use it as a tool to come up with different ideas is incredible. But you need to know again how to use it.
Uh-huh.
Whereas if you were to just open ChatGPT and say, "Hey, I need a new ad for my new ketchup launch," right? Is ChatGPT going to necessarily give you the best ideas? Maybe not. So again, both of them are AI, but how do you use it, right? That really affects your end output.
For somebody who is trying to learn how to use AI, how do you think would be better to learn how to prompt?
I think is an art and a science. So the first thing I would say is do not go and copy mega prompts because the goal is not to copy what someone else has crafted. The goal is to figure out how you can craft your own prompts that
Mhm.
work for your own workflow, right? So for any prompting process, like what I would tell my clients during my workshops, it always starts with you understanding the context, giving AI a role, giving it examples, understanding who is your target audience, what is your brief, what is your output, a specific structure, specific examples, right? It's the exact same thing that I would give an intern if I am briefing my intern on how to write a campaign. So in the same vein, right, the more context you give AI, the better you get. And there are so many different types of prompting, right? Like chain of thought prompting, multi-shot, single shot, so many different types of prompting. The goal for you is not to memorize everything, but to
Yeah.
figure out what is the best way for you to have that conversation. So I'm always having the conversation with AI and figuring out how to get to a better output. So for example, to solve a problem of creating ads, right? I could build a mega prompt and give it a lot of context and say, hey, use this mega prompt every time, give me a new output. Or I could break this mega prompt into 5 steps. And then I can have that conversation with AI. And at every single step, I could give it feedback. I could ask for suggestions. I could challenge it, right? And by the end
Mhm.
of this 5 step process, you will get a different set of output, right? So it's about figuring out, how do you craft the prompt and how do you then combine the prompting process with your own thought process in order for it to work best for you.
Yeah, to me, I noticed that what helps me is talking to the AI as if I were talking to a friend.
Yeah.
And so I give it context and I say, okay, for you to understand what I want, this is what I would like to do. And it has been working for me. I am not a very savvy person in AI, but of course, it's a challenge, but I like to see it in a more natural way.
Definitely. I think seeing it like a friend or like a teammate is something that helps a lot. And I always tell people to break down your own thought processes, right? The best way to help someone to understand how to get to the final output is when you can describe how you think about solving that problem. So if you can explain to yourself, hey, this is how I would think about solving this problem, then get AI to do the same. That's how you really get, a higher quality output.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And if you want to target an audience, how does AI assist you in understanding and tailoring the content that you need to specify to this target audience?
Yeah. So when it comes to copywriting, even without AI, you need to understand your target audience, your pain points, your desires, your motivations, and so on, right? Usually, that's a very manual process. You have to talk to people, you have to do a Google search, you have to read through your Reddit threads, your forums, right? But with AI, you can really quickly get that information. So you could either A, use AI to scrape through different websites to pull out insights for you. You could use AI to, pull out certain insights from your audience transcripts, right? If you're having multiple chats with your clients, transcribe all of them using AI, then use AI again to pull out commonalities, right? Or you could also use AI to create a persona. So, for example, my target audience used to be founders of tech companies, and I didn't really have access to them initially, right? Because I was still building my business. So, what did I do? I asked AI to create a target audience persona for me and figure out what are their pain points. And these are amazing insights for you to get started on. It may not all be accurate, but it provides a great starting point for anyone who's trying
Yeah.
to understand audience insights.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, giving you a starting point, and then it comes experience, right? You by experience you learn how to improve and get better. And can AI be used to identify emerging trends or incorporate them in a brand strategy? Would that be possible?
I do not think that it's impossible. I think that there are ways. Um, I would not say that everything that AI generates is going to be accurate or true, but I do think that it gives, marketers and strategists a bit of an idea of what could perhaps happen. So if you were to ask it to study past trends or propose new trends based on what is going on now, it could give you a couple of different ideas, but you as the human behind the AI will probably have to make that evaluation for yourself, right? And think,
Mm-hmm.
hey, is this the horse I'm going to bet on? Do I think that this is going to be the future, right? But one thing I know for sure is that the future of marketing is going to be highly personal. So there will be a lot more personalization, customization, and you already have AI tools that are able to identify your personality. So if someone is assessing my DISC profile, my personality type, and they realize that, I'm very high in certain characteristics, then when they create content, right, even cold emails now, it's all tailored towards me and my identity that AI scripts from my online presence. So that is very scary, but also incredibly
Mm-hmm.
powerful.
And coming to your unicorn background, which is quite amazing. What lessons have you learned from that background that you have? Uh, Lessons that can apply in AE driven growth strategies.
Yeah, I love that question. So again, my background is a bit a hybrid, and it's intentional. When I
Mm-hmm.
first started, I thought I was going to be in advertising for a very long time. So I saw an ad on TV when I was 13 years old, and I said to myself, I'm going to be an advertiser. I'm going to be a creative director. When I pursued my passion since, right? Then I got into one of the top agencies in Singapore, and I was doing lots of amazing creative work with very talented people who taught me a lot. But I was still hungry, I was still like, this is great, but this is not enough for me. I wanted to
Mm-hmm.
learn. So what I did was I picked up 4 to 5 other side hustles. I figured
Wow.
out how to write, landing pages. I didn't do that in advertising. I figured out how to write things like press releases. I didn't do that before. Figured it out. How to write sales decks. Also new to me. So what I did was I just watched YouTube videos, I read books, and then I just told the clients, I'll do it for cheap. Right. And then that's how I was building my skill sets and portfolio. So that allowed me to stack, my brand advertising background with conversion copywriting. And then I joined a startup with the intention of mastering growth marketing. So
Mm-hmm.
that added one more layer. And now that I'm on LinkedIn, I added a new skill set of personal branding and now AI. So the way I
Wow.
see it is I want to be, that person that has all the skill sets that I need to help a company thrive because it's about adding value, right? So the more value you have here, the more value you can also add to your clients,
Yes.
to the company, and to the people around you.
Yeah, I truly believe that the best investment you can do in your life is in yourself
It
and
is.
preparing
And
yourself and getting yourself to be better every day.
yeah,
And
and I think the thing that most people don't see is they don't see the hard work it takes to get to, somewhere, right? So they see like, oh, now you're doing your own thing. You look pretty, happy and successful, but they don't see the hours that I put in, before that, just doing things that couldn't be skilled, like the $5 Upwork gig and just trying out different things, right? So in order for someone to unlock a certain skill set, you need to put in that 100 reps, right? Or the 1,000 reps. And that's what I truly believe in. If you want to learn something, put in the work, learn the skill, and then apply it until you figure it out. And then that's how you grow a lot quicker.
yeah, yeah. I mean, and I think having also the spirit to do things and be willing to fail, because sometimes people they don't want to fail. They're afraid of failing, and I noticed that the biggest fear that we have is not failing, is people laughing at us. And I think overcoming that is very difficult. When you pass that threshold, then is a moment where you can start growing, right?
Yeah, definitely. I think the fear of failure is one thing. The fear of rejection is another thing. Right? Most people
Yeah.
don't like being rejected. The
Yeah.
fear of no's, right? So I think these are things that I also struggled with on my journey. I had so many no's, so many failures, so many like people who rejected me as a professional, right? But then how do you find that strength to turn it around and be like, you know what, I'm just gonna prove myself right. I'm gonna find a way, I'm gonna
Exactly.
make it happen. And I think that's the spirit that, one needs to have if you want to do your own thing. You need to have that fighting spirit.
Yeah, I think we need to try and try to find our clan, our tribe, the people who is going to like us for what we do and they like the way we do things. And then is where we start growing and developing. And talking about the scalability, what do you think? How do you think AI can help business scale their brand and their marketing efforts?
There are so many ways. So if you think about it, AI is here to increase your productivity, right? And what you want to do is to use AI to unblock systems. So if you have a business use case that requires you to repeat certain tasks, here's an example. If you're an e-commerce store and right now you have a copywriter that's manually writing all your product descriptions, is that necessarily the right way to do so in this day and age? I'm not sure, right? So what you can do is if you have a specific framework for your e-commerce product, for example, the way you describe a certain, product, you have X, Y, and Z, right? So what you do is to create a prompt that allows you to then include product information with this framework to get to your final output. And then you can easily use an Excel sheet that is powered by AI or, a tool like Relevance. And then you just have to run it through once, review the results, and then just do a couple of final tweaks, right? So that in itself is a very simple demonstration of how your business can increase your productivity just on the copywriting front. It is
Mhm.
one small element, right? So even for my clients, what I'm doing now is I'm training the full team on how they can use AI to work on their LinkedIn personal branding. So I train my clients so that their entire team, whether they are from the finance department or from the campaign department, or whether they are in the partnerships department, if all of them know how to use AI to build their personal brands, then my full team is equipped with the skill sets to launch together with me, right? And that allows me to scale my company and to push them towards, a lot more visibility because everyone is posting content consistently, all with a little help of AI in content strategy, in copywriting, in getting the final post out there.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I think it's team effort. There is always this misconception that the salesmen are the one in charge of selling. And yeah, I mean, technically they are, but they are not because without the support from the company behind you, I mean, it's going along with a sword trying to slay the dragon, right?
Yeah.
It's not possible.
Yeah. So I think like AI's use case, there is no limit to the use case. But for a company to want to adopt it, they need to first be open-minded enough to be okay with trying new things and knowing that it might
Mhm.
take time for the team to learn. It might take time for them to try out different tools. But then if they are able to do so, the kind of productivity savings, time savings, cost savings they will see is going to be insane.
It's going to be insane. But there are some challenges, for sure. I mean, for sure, there are some challenges that come with that. And what do you think are the biggest challenge that when you use AI, and how do you think you can overcome these challenges?
Yes. So the biggest challenge I've seen is when people use AI and don't have a human in the loop. So when you see companies putting out very AI content, you see words like revolutionize, leverage, it is not this, it is that, you know,
Mhm.
standing on the helm or like, like there's so many big fluffy words, right? And it's a really big turn off for the audience because now they're getting a lot more savvy. They know what AI content sounds like.
Oh yeah,
They know there's not a lot of effort that goes in, right? So sure, you're putting out more content. Does that content convert? I'm not too sure, right? So that's why for me, the way I always recommend my clients to work is they need to have that human AI human strategy. So it's like a burger, right? You have the human part and then you have the patty, which is AI, and then you have the human to review and refine your results. So that ensures that in your workflow, there is strategy, there is value proposition, audience insights, but there's also productivity in the middle, and then there's that final, check to make sure that everything is seamless and that the quality of content is still
I agree with you. I think that we can use as much AI as we want, but human empathy it's always needed. I mean, this is the special ingredient that we all need to be successful because then it will be too robotic, too cold, too unpersonal.
Yeah, definitely. So being able to add that human touch, that human story, I think is still highly important. And it's gonna be increasingly important in the world where you're gonna see a lot more content and a lot more AI content.
Oh yeah, I planning and doing is amazing, but there is always a budget constraints, right? I mean, not always everybody has the money to do the things that we would like to do. And how how do you think startups can limit their budget effectively? I mean, startups with limited budget they can effectively use AI for copywriting and brand strategy.
Yeah, so you don't need 100 tools. You just need one good one, right? So if you want to get started, like even a simple Chat GPT Plus subscription will do the trick. It's only $20 a month. It's so worth it, right? It's cheaper than hiring an intern, right? And it's so much more
Oh yeah.
productive, right? So if companies are thinking, but Audrey, I don't want to build a full workflow. I don't want to subscribe to 10 million AI tools. You don't have to. You have ChatGPT. You equip your team with the skills that they need to harness and leverage the power of AI with ChatGPT, and they can do so much already. So it's not about how many tools you have, but how well your team is trained on being able to leverage these tools. And that's what I always say in my workshops, right? If you can train the team, train them so they know how to fish, right? Instead of relying
Uh-huh.
on you to, catch the fish for them.
Yeah, in order to keep consistency and also don't lose hope, we all need quick wins. We want to have something that it makes us feel that we are getting somewhere. And what, in, in your opinion, are some quick wins that startups can achieve by implementing AI tools into their marketing process?
Yes, so one very quick one that you can integrate. Again, like I say, you don't have to have 100 tools. I have a stack of maybe 5 tools, right, that I like. One of them, for example, is called Sybil. Sybil is an AI tool that I use on all my meetings because it not only transcribes the meetings, it helps me to identify my audience's pain points and their motivations and key conversation starters, right, which are key, right? So what I want to do as a startup founder is whenever I'm on a call, I need to know who my prospects are and how they're responding to what I said. So for me, because I have all the transcripts and I have all these like tangible pain points,
Mhm.
right? I can now craft copy that's directed at my clients because I've had so many sales calls. It wouldn't have been possible if I just tried to remember whatever the different clients did. I would have missed something out, right? So this is one way that you can quickly use a tool to get a win because I'm directly getting audience insights. I'm optimizing my sales calls. I'm able to plug it into my CRM so that I'm tracking all of them using AI. So that's one example. The second example would be, like what I said, figure out what tasks are very manual and repetitive. The goal is repetitive, right? So if you have a specific framework that you're always using to write content, that's when you know AI is perfect for the job, right? So turn that framework into a prompt, build it into a GPT, build it into an AI tool, and then use that to help you to create version 1 of that piece of content you're looking for. And that already saves you so much time. Also, another quick win. The final thing that you can do is think about using AI to help you to repurpose content. So if you have a long form blog post and you're thinking, can I turn it into a newsletter, a social post? You can easily craft a prompt to help you to turn a long form blog content into multiple bullet points and then turn the multiple bullet points into, a Twitter post or LinkedIn post or something else. Of course, remembering the burger method, right? Always have the human in the loop to help you to ensure that the quality of results are good. So instead of
Mhm.
hiring a team of maybe like 3 marketers, you can have one supercharged marketer that does 10x the work. Like what I'm doing for my clients. We run so fast because I'm able to turn around work super quickly.
It's amazing how marketing and AI together, they become like a bullet train. Because
Yes.
marketing is evolving continuously. Like trends are changing very fast. And then you add AI to the equation, and like you really are traveling at the speed of light.
Yeah. I think there are a lot of job functions that are going to be changed because of AI. Um, but for marketing and for copywriting, it's the easiest use case, right? So you're like, it's the fastest way to scale because for marketers, it's a copy based kind of output or even a visual based output, and you can then use to quickly get work done. So I would say that if you are a marketer and you are not leveraging AI, you are missing out.
Yes, I agree with you. And coming to that, now that we're going in this fast train, it comes scalability. And how do you think can startups use AI to prepare for the future, involving their growth and scalability in the market?
Yes, I think firstly, start using it now. Learn how to use it now, right? Don't wait until someone else like does it already, then you just figure it out, right? It's too late by then because they would already have been putting out lots of content. They would have their processes in place, and you're just gonna figure it out now. Then that's a little too late. So for startups, even before using AI, I always ask my clients or founders, what are your key priorities? What are the key marketing channels that's gonna move the needle, right? Where is your audience at? Are they on LinkedIn? Are they on YouTube? Right? So if you first have a core offer, you have your value proposition set, then you know your marketing channels, you know your target audience, then only then you can figure out, okay, Audrey, you know what? I'm going to spend most of my time on LinkedIn, okay? Because most of my audience are there. I do B2B sales. Sure. Now, then you think, how can I use AI and start building processes? So I would ask the founder, what do you need in order to succeed? And the founder could say, I need to know who I'm talking to. Sure. Why not you use AI to identify people's personality types and then identify their roles, right? Identify their company size, right? And then the founder might say, I need to know their emails. Sure. Why not you use AI to then pull their emails, right? Have it
Mhm,
all in the
mhm.
database and then also check them to make sure that they're verified. And then the founder might say, I want to send them personalized emails. Sure. Use AI to personalize the starting line of each email, personalize the triggers, test the email flow, see if it works, send it out and get it all in, and then you can repeat and optimize the process, right? So it's not really using AI for the sake of AI, but
Mhm.
just having that problem statement first and working backwards to solve it.
This comes to results. I mean, we are when we try to target our audience, we need to understand to whom and how. And what do you think are the metrics or KPIs that startups should track to measure the effectiveness of their campaigns?
Yeah, I think this is not an AI question, but I think this will go back to a marketer's question.
Mm-hmm.
So again, like what are the key metrics, right, that you want to track as a marketer? It depends on the channel that you're at and also what you're looking for. If I'm running ads, I would want to track things like my click-through rate, my ROAS, basically metrics that matter to a specific platform. But at the end of the day, you also want to figure out what's the cost per customer acquisition. You want to figure out how much traffic you're getting and of the traffic, how many people are converting, right? So these things are all part of the marketing puzzle. But it's not about tracking everything. It's about which channels are your key focus, where are your resources, then what are the metrics you want to track, and then figure it out from there. And then thinking, okay, now I know that these are my focus. How do I invest in AI to help me get there? And there are so many AI tools that can help you to unlock certain problems. And honestly, they are not expensive. So if you run like a simple AI note taking tool or a simple AI, SDR tool, right? They're not going to cost you a whole team's worth of pay. And that's
Mm-hmm.
already a huge cost saver, in my opinion.
One limitation that I see, like in AI note-taking tools, is that I personally sometimes I have meetings with customers in English, sometimes in Spanish, and then they get kind of confused. What's going on? Where are you? Or probably haven't found the right tool to do that. But there is still certain limitations in when it comes to multi-language. Or does that happen to you? I guess you not only have customers in English.
Most of my clients, because I write in English, so most of my clients are English speaking, but there are tools available that can really solve this problem. Servo recognizes languages in over 100 different countries.
Oh well.
That's really there are tools out there. LARK is a collaborative B2B workspace, and it translates, your meeting minutes in real time. So someone can be speaking in Spanish, and then you can get like, a transcript of it in real time. So AI is evolving at a super fast rate. I'm sure this will not be a problem anytime soon. It may be in the early stages now, but I'm pretty sure it will be, pretty seamless in a couple of months' time.
Yeah, it's amazing how fast AI is evolving, and sometimes it's a bit scary because I mean many people is scared that oh I'm going to lose my job and because of AI is coming. But I think that what AI is forcing us is to be more specialized people in our field. Because if you're a salesman, for example, you cannot come with the customer anymore and say, okay, this is the catalog, tell me what is your order. Because that can be easily done by the AI. I mean, this is something that you can be replaced easily. But if you become this person who is going to give you advice in how every product works and the benefits of each product and become an advisor to your customer, I believe then you will not lose your job. What do you think about that?
I think, to be honest, I think a lot of jobs will change. I think people who are not going to upskill themselves will find it challenging. I say that as a copywriter whose client also told me that my job is going to be replaced. So I know exactly how a lot of people are feeling right now. Which is why I think it's very important to, like what you said, value add, right? So it's about either being a really good specialist in your field who's able to value add and leverage AI while doing so, then you'll always be one step ahead. Or learning to expand your skill sets. So if you are a salesperson who's also able to do copywriting, think about that. Those are really strong skill sets, right? And if you can bring those two together, plus use AI to help you in copywriting, then technically you're bringing even more value to your company, your client, or even your team. And that allows you to stay one step ahead. What you don't want to do is to sit and wait and think that nothing is going to happen
Yeah.
because the world is already changing. It's just how fast do we want to evolve as the world evolves?
And I think that happens with when every new technology arrives. They take some work with them, but they bring some others. And so we have to evolve always and be open to new ideas and new ways of working. Otherwise, yeah, if we wait, we will be wiped out. And this comes to how we overcome challenges in using AI and the technical barriers that come with it. What do you think are these common technical challenges that startups or companies or solo people face when they want to implement AI and how they can overcome these challenges?
Yes, I think one key thing that I face is I'm not a technical person, right? So my background is purely, marketing, advertising, branding. And then me figuring out how to use AI is like, oh, this was like not easy for me to learn initially. It's like, what is this thing, right? So of course, prompting helps. But when it comes to streamlining your processes and thinking how do you operationalize it, sometimes what you need someone to support you in that journey. And you don't have to do it alone. There are so many like tech experts. I have an AI partner. You just have to combine your expertise because the AI partner, for example, he may not know copywriting. I do, right? And so able to combine both your skill sets. So when I built my LinkedIn Launchpad tool, it's an AI tool that helps you to write LinkedIn posts, right? So I came to the tech partner and saying, I have this amazing prompt and this framework and it works brilliantly, but the output is not consistent and I don't know what to do. It's like not consistent. Then he came with a solution. He's like, why not we do it in this system, in this flow? So we combine both of our expertise to then build a tool that actually works with both quality copywriting and consistency in the output because you're able to combine both of our knowledge together. So I'm saying you don't have to be afraid that it's of AI. You don't have to be afraid of the technical difficulties. You just have to find people around you that know how to do it and then work together to make it happen.
And I think surrounding yourself with people that can help you in several aspects of life is key. So it's not like something new that you have to do because it's how the times are forcing you to act. It's something that comes natural to us. And it is a post somewhere in LinkedIn that always says, if you are the most intelligent person in the room, you are in the wrong room.
Wrong room, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Which is why I love LinkedIn, because I meet so many other incredible minds, right? So I meet so many incredible founders, solopreneurs, entrepreneurs who are using AI in all sorts of ways. And then when I have chats with them, I'm like, I didn't think of that. Oh, that is possible. Oh, I didn't know that, right? And I see the way that they think, and they're also experimenting, they're also trying, and then we exchange kind of like ideas and insights. And it becomes really amazing to see how other people are using AI and leveraging AI in ways that I did not even think of.
Yes, and I really like following you in LinkedIn. I am one of your followers, and I really like because you provide him with so much information. Like you help us so much to have ideas and say, okay, I can do this and I can do that. Because being alone is extremely difficult. And having people around you that help you with ideas and how to improve, how to be better is amazing. So thank you so much,
Oh,
Audrey.
I'm so glad to hear. Thank you too. Like, yeah, like for me, I know it's a journey, and because I'm a solopreneur, I know that there are other people like me who are trying to figure things out. So for me, it's a joy to be able to share what I learned with everyone else, so that they too can go on their own journeys and, like, use the different tools, try different things, and then hopefully find their own mini breakthroughs as well.
Yes. Yeah. You are really amazing. I have a question about data privacy, and because many people is worried about how the data privacy and security um, you have when you are using AI. What are your thoughts about that?
Yes, so I would say if you have information that you don't want to be put out there, don't use ChatGPT for it. So I know
Yeah.
they have a toggle where you can, not share your information, but to be fair, nobody really knows what
Yeah.
happens to your information.
Yeah.
I know they have a corporate kind of GPT where some companies have, their own AI systems, which is great. Of course, only the larger companies would have access to that, right? So for individuals, just be more conscious of the information you're putting in, especially data, right? And you want to be able to use AI like a co-pilot, but like also an intern where you're trusting them with information that you know you can't share. That
Mhm.
is at least how you can manage your personal risk.
Because at the end of the day, I think that putting information in inside is like sending it to a huge brain that is feeding with all our questions and our information. And since it's an AI, it doesn't understand what is this and what is that. And when somebody asks for information, we'll take the information from wherever it comes, right?
Yes. So also to be mindful of the output, some people are still taking the information as is, but as we all know, AI hallucinates sometimes and it says things in a very confident manner, right?
Uh-huh.
So just review and refine everything, check everything. Don't take it at face value, and then add your human, your human mind and
Yes.
input.
When we were talking about surrounding ourselves with people that can help us do better, like you have somebody who helps you with AI, what would your recommendation for people how you choose or how to find the right talent or partner that knows how to handle AI for you?
Yeah, I would say start on a trial project together. You don't have to commit to a long-term project together yet, right? Because you always want to know who you're working with. And you have to see if that partner aligns with you on business goals, your values, the way you work. This is just things beyond AI, right? Just partnerships
Mhm.
in general. Um, if you're finding a partner, start on a trial project, have a kind of scope that you guys agree on together, work on it together and see whether it's the right fit. Because you want to make sure that you are both bringing a certain skill set to the table, but secondly, you're both able to communicate and make that thing happen, right? So it's sometimes very challenging if you have a tech partner who's speaking in very technical terms, and then you are speaking in non-technical terms, and then you both don't get each other, right? And that has happened to me before, which I found very challenging to navigate. Whereas if you have someone who is able to communicate on the same wavelength as yourself, and you guys share the same kind of way and approach of working together, I find that projects tend to run a lot faster, right? And you're also able to see, great results a lot faster.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like finding a friend, right? It's your partner. It's a person you have to work with every day. And even though you can speak the same language, doesn't mean you communicate in that
That's
language.
right. You can be talking but not communicating.
Exactly. And the AI roadmap, like how startups create long-term AI roadmaps to, well, let's say, to guide their digital transition or transformation.
Yeah. So I would say that I'm not an expert in this, but how I would approach problem solving with AI is I need to know firstly what are some short-term use cases that I want to solve for. So I always start with the business problem and how I can solve it using AI tools or prompts or processes. And I'll unblock those in the short term. But in the long term, it would also be to figure out if we want to invest in bigger systems or processes or technology, right? That allows the company to then have that long-term kind of goal. Some companies start building their own AI systems. They start building their own databases because to them it makes sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
Again, it may not apply to every business. It might not be necessary for every startup. So it depends on your objectives, your goals, and then working backwards from there. But not to use AI for the sake of it, right?
Yeah.
Always use AI to solve a problem. Have the end in mind, and you will find it a lot easier to implement.
I agree with you. Many people, they want to use AI because it's trendy, but they don't really understand how to use it or what for. And
Yeah,
now you have to try to learn continuously what is happening with AI and become part of the game. And
yeah. And I think that the one thing that I would recommend is don't just consume it. Just try, just experiment with it. That's the
Mhm.
fastest way to learn. Like, I wouldn't have thought of using AI to be my sales guru a few months back. But because I have been using it so much, what I did was I was listening to an Alex Ramsey 4-hour YouTube video on sales, right? And I was like,
Wow.
I can absorb so much information, even though I was listening to it again and again, it didn't sink in. So I thought, why not just turn it into an AI bot for myself? And then I downloaded the full video transcript using AI, put it into ChatGPT, and now it's my personal sales coach. So I'm having conversations with it every day,
Oh,
training
wow.
myself so that I can become better at sales.
Oh, that's an excellent idea. I mean, also it can become your teacher, right? I mean, it's a great tool to because we all learn different. I mean, I can listen to a lecture and I can digest it. I need to listen to it 2 or 3 times, so probably be more visual about it. And so with AI, you
Definitely. That's why I say it's not just about listening to how people use AI, right? If you use it, then you start thinking about what are some creative ways to solve problems. So I wouldn't have thought about building my own AI bot for sales if I didn't already use AI in my everyday, right? And the
Mhm.
only way I could have done so was if I'm really familiar with AI, with ChatGPT, with building systems, then it just came naturally to me. This is how I would solve a problem.
Yeah, yeah, it's trying and trying. Like you cannot be a master if you don't try. And I have two last questions for you, Audrey. And what do you think is the best practice for staging staying updated on AI advancement and trends?
Spend a bit of time every day to learn something. There are so many free resources out there, whether it's a newsletter, whether it's a podcast like this one, or whether it's like, just scrolling through LinkedIn. Um, you don't want to mindlessly consume. So have the objective of learning, right? So when I'm on LinkedIn and I'm looking through carousels, it's not so much to browse, but it's for me to learn. So when I see a prompt that is interesting, I save it and I always revisit it and think, let me try this. And if it works, what can I do with it for my business? Or like, how would I edit this prompt, right? So consume consciously and then apply quickly. And that's how you really get, the ball rolling.
Oh yeah. Be fast. The way we have to be in that bullet train and do things fast. I agree. My last question, my dear Audrey, would be okay for you if I put your LinkedIn profile in next to the podcast when you release, so people can learn from you and any way for them to contact you, because I know you have your own company. I know you provide a lot of help to companies, and if somebody wants to ask you and try to become your customer, will be okay for you?
Yeah, definitely. So if anybody wants to reach out to me, you can always find me on LinkedIn or you can go to my website, www.closewithcopy.co. So what I do is I help companies build their brands, whether it's your company brand or your personal brand. And I always integrate AI into the process, whether it's building out systems or just even equipping your team with the skills. I think everyone needs to learn, and I am more than happy to support your company in this AI transformation.
Thanks so much, Audrey. It was amazing having you today. It was an amazing episode, and I am very grateful for your presence. Thank you.
Thank you for having me too.
And I hope to see you soon, Audrey. I wish you all the best and lots of success.
Thank you so much. All
Thank you,
right.
Audrey.
Take care.
Bye.